rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Unfortunately, no. And hygienically? Let's not go glove hunting, please. Let's use division of labor. I perform the anatomical side, while you take notes. That's right.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with:
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings. Just
KK57-0803.0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
Next. We've heard the nom de guerre, Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down. What's next? Date of birth? NA. Roughly 50.
Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Muindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Fucky, fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
None, at least not after the initial examination. Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide, the other, and so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn the...
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone to sleep.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The line tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color Yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
The spine is bent more than the lieutenant compensated for. This buster's actual height is about 1.85. And no, you could not take him straight on.
Of course, I undercompensated. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with the age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different from a living person after a swim. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to you. More hair sticks to your hand. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. More hair sticks to your hand.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
Now, it's gonna happen, see?
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch. You should touch it.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
Last item, hands.
The hand is surprisingly heavy to lift, filled with decay liquids. Feels as though it could explode if squeezed harder. You're suddenly repulsed, so much so.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his...
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury-related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
He's really doing it. The dead man's teeth cut into his gloved hand.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in.
Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert? Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, NA. Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there? Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Brimming with cocaine.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits lividity in the lower extremities, feet, hands, and neck, visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man, beneath the
Right. Next. Nothing. Just in case.
The corpse lay slouched to the side, oblivious to its
Shoot, Looney Rooney. I'm a joke. Look at a killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
Takes one to know one.
Go ahead, Coppo. Into in the past. Way out in the west. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself.
The rotting man, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep.
I thought we dis-
Okay, so you can.
Alright. Bite mark. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured. The cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. What was that about no chlorine around the neck? You'd be chlorine for your life.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned, but it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg. For processing.
I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Okay. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can take care of the rest.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
Continue working here. The locals, the case, or attend to your own business? I will meet you downstairs in the Whirling in Rags tomorrow morning.
This means Lieutenant Kisuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the
Can I help you?
You're already set for the night. Your door is unlocked.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
The unpromising race
And everyone can see that. It has little
Baby, don't be mean.
anything for you, babe.
Look, Bay. The minion of law is also a racist. But his racism is basic and road. He thinks he has solved the...
So unadvanced.
The basic race education he received in high school has led him to think his file. You could have used this opportunity to overcome your narrow al-rule, Raven. Take solace from the fact that these thoughts...
Damn, Jean. How are you so romantic?
There is nothing fun. I cannot possibly...
This is the night watchman. Unmoved by your attempt at flattery. The door does not respond to your advances.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource.
Smooth talking? Maybe.
Yes, yes. My best men are tracking it down. What's that, Harry? You're getting a little pale. Is it the words paranoid schizophrenic and lost gun in one sentence? Don't worry, it's just a lead. It'll probably turn out to be nothing. Great! You want to bounce something off your old friend Mr. Clare, right? Well, let's hear it, Harry. Absolute. Yes, yes. My best men are tracking it down. Some kids saw some other kids running away with it. What's that, Harry? You're...
This must be it. You knock silently. The leather upholstery is worn and rough. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around. You try to be as silent as you can. Finally, the door Good job. Let's go now. There might be important information in the apartment. As you hold the open door, you can This is the flag of Revachol. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold. It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo, the flag accepts your honorable salute with quiet dignity. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst a little ring. Though the images betray a lack of interest in human beings, the owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. Of course, so very free. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel the owner of this collection could be dumping his trash in the Whirling's container. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often. Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in a trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, you could ask Everard who this person is once you're done here. Master Investigator, you just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places. Get nothing. You're right. Get in there. The Attaboy, the world's secrets were made for you. They wait patiently.
You're back. Good. What can I... You have? And how did you like...
Finally, time to choose sides.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic. Worm-like. Corruption. Of course. I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a worm. How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's tale?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting. Tell her she'll like you for it.
Oh. That's so helpful. So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that guy? Well, maybe he's not as helpful. Of course, Detective. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Hello again, officers.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on recon again. Yes, The Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
She is nobody. This is none of your
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me. Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words. Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does...
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now? Yes, yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. A book about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs, right next to the shelf of biography.
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
Oh, a nature enthusiast. Good choice.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer, known for their intelligence and general precociousness. This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated. Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up. Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, it is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own. You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle and ouch, not great for the neighbors. This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. Despite its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey, and the bang is for all the scary things in the world. Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you? You're right. Your Majesty embodied.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like it feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight. And his shirt is still unbuttoned.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it? Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard.
Besides, I've got to run. Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
He's right. Only losers. A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club. Music blasted.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you? You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did, so we're all good here. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good. By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries. A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire. I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yesut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
Those Senorita Pineapple people are scary motherfuckers. Decimating your state if you don't give them your...
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village. But now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move... Yes! I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees. Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
An entire neighborhood of killers.
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, boss. Socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land. He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried. He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error? Anyway.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative. Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the... Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like...
Separate one from the herd.
Oh, that would definitely be Fat Angus. His feet smell from a city block away, and he's always having noisy stomach troubles. Horrible, revolting guy. You would die, Harry. You would die, and in the process start a bloody and Angus, his ever-growling stomach, and his smelly feet are all part of the Union. You have as much right to arrest him as he has to arrest you. Actually less, because it's his home and his backyard. You are a guest here. Oh, Harry. This is getting real grim, and there's no need for that. We are friends. But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry.
You can now go and tell Titus about this.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real. I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real. Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else? How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates. You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. Of course, you're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me. Tribunal? That sounds serious, Harry. We Union men should be shitting ourselves. I wish you hadn't told me that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this. Let's...
He's clearly happy about the tribunal.
You're right. You're right. My sleep isn't your concern. Tell me, Harry, what else can I help you with? Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. Was it a good tour? I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And, of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you.
A man of the left. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or, once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need... You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the water lock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun.
You're back before the cargo container.
Kuno care?
What's going on is an ungovernable youth on your crime scene, throwing around incendiary language, trying to push your buttons.
Fuck no!
Kuno, they've almost made you a snitch.
Ease off, see? Kuno always takes the bullet over the hammer. Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it? Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. Listen, listen! Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price.
You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters. F-A-L.
Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around. Except for that you took away. Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival. Believe it, you need this.
These could drastically improve your chances of... Coach Physical Instrument endorses. They will also make you into an idiot.
Whatever. Kuno was trying to help you, but you're too... Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't...
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close. Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno.
She means it.
I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for love.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
The trash container stands in the...
It's you again. What is it? Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's making me play with you.
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us?
Yeah, I heard him. Now fuck do you think I'm doing here? You'd have your ass handed to you if it wasn't for the... Let me state this very clearly, Capo. Hello, officer. I'm Titus Hardy, and these are my boys. Hardy boys. How may we assist you?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.